That one escape from the back, it's gonna be from the choking side. Before we start our escapes, I have to make sure that I'm defending my neck, I'm not getting choked. So I'm gonna start with my left hand going thumb to the inside of my partner's wrist. So if you remove your left hand out of the way for a second, if she goes to pull her hand across for the choke, I have control of her wrist here, okay? My right hand is just gonna go right on top of her forearm. So her hand's on top here, and we're starting like this. Now, this escape is gonna work better in motion. Right now we're in like a static position, but we're gonna look to rotate our partner from the choking side to the controlling side, and as we're going, try to beat our head, our partner's head, and then try to get our head to the mat. So it's gonna look like this. We start here. As I start to fall to this side, I make sure that my chin is tucked, and now we fall here. And if I had motion, it'd be a lot easier, but the goal is to turn our hips over, and as we turn our hips over, get our belly to the mat and do a full rotation. As I rotate, get my head down to the mat. Once my head is down to the mat, my shoulders are free from this position, we have a few options when it comes to the escape. We can either slide our hips out, freeing ourselves from the hooks, or reach for our partner's head for a headlock and then turn into our partner's guard. But right now we're just gonna turn into their guard. So I'm gonna continue to turn my hips in this direction and get my hand to the inside of my partner's arm. Even if their hands are connected, most of the time their hands are gonna disconnect because they're trying to work to get to a choke. So from here, my wrist goes to the inside and I swim my elbow through and I start to straighten my arm out over her head. So I take my arm, I reach from behind her head in this direction, I start to pull so that my hips start to turn inside her guard. My left hand is gonna switch from her wrist to the inside of her bicep, and I'm extending my arm from this position. So I extend, I rotate, come up, and we free ourselves from the back. So again. We start here, and this is from the choking side. So right now she has 2 hooks in, she's not going body triangle, she's not doing any other leg configuration besides the 2 hooks in. My thumb inside her wrist, my right hand's gonna be on top, I'm pulling, I'm keeping my chin to the inside. Make sure that when we are falling to this side, that I'm not looking up at my partner. So if she does beat my hands for whatever reason, she's gonna get that choke. If we're here, I make sure that my chin is tucked in and my shoulder's up here. So if she did beat my hand, it's gonna be a lot harder for her to get the choke, and at some point it'll delay where I can start to grab a hold of that grip again. So from here, I start that rotation. I'm gonna start to turn my hips over. My bottom leg slices through, my top leg is gonna come over. The harder they keep their hooks, the easier it is to rotate. So from here, as I start to turn my hips over, I bring my belly down towards the mat, my chest down towards the mat, and I continue that rotation. Do not stop like this. If I stop here, I'm gonna get flattened out. So I make sure to do a full rotation to the other side. Now I bring my head and my shoulders to the inside. My shoulder has to pop out from behind her arm to in front. And then I can start to pull my hand to the inside, continue to rotate my hips, and then get my arm behind her head, okay? So from here, my arm goes behind her head. I start to take my hand off her wrist, I go to her bicep, and continue to turn to get on top. So one more time, we'll go full speed. Please like and subscribe.